Jezebel represents everything that rebels against the move of God and the apostolic order that accompanies the operation of the fivefold ministry gifts. What is the spirit of Jezebel? It is a spirit that seeks to destroy and to shut the mouth of the prophetic voice. Not the voice that says, yes, I'm going to bless you with a car and a house and your little son coming out of jail. And not that voice. That's the voice we want to hear. But it's the voice that says, it speaks against sin and rebellion, idolatry, crafty manipulation, and control. She hates the apostolic that establishes order. That's Jezebel. And I tell you, though she died many, many, many years ago, the spirit of Jezebel is still alive. It's the spirit that says, I don't understand why pastors doing that. I can't see why they made that turn. I can't see why we're changing things. That's the spirit of Jezebel. Then it tries to control and manipulate, make it seem as if something was actually wrong with what is trying to be implemented. That's Jezebel. And you've got to see her for what she is. She is an apostolic, prophetic killer. She comes to kill the foresight of God. And don't we need it in the house? We need the foresight of God. Otherwise, where there is no vision, the people perish. And in that moment, she says that I'm going to kill him. By this time tomorrow, I left out the part because what happened with Jezzy's little problem was that he took all her little friends down to the riverbank after he showed them that Baal was not God. And he slew them there. And when he slays them, Jezebel is enraged. She's very, very angry. And she says, I'm going to kill him tomorrow. And so what happens, the great Elijah, man of God, it's amazing how cunning and deceptive and how this spirit brings about fear. So the great man of God, he runs a day's journey into the wilderness. And his unfamiliar surroundings, his life is in peril. And there he is under a juniper tree. And he's done everything that God has ever asked him to do. We have no record where he said, no, God. And so he's done all that God has commanded to his hand. And he finally, after being ran down, standing for God in isolation, accused, going through all these various mantle building trials, he said, it's enough. I've had enough. And he says, God, just let me die. Have you ever, I can see on your face, have you ever been there where you say, God, if you're not going to deliver me, if things aren't going to change? I've been there. Just let me die. I love you. I'll serve you. I've done all you commanded. This is a good place to end. I've had enough. You've been glorified. The people have been edified. I've had enough. And I can just go out in this little glory rain. They'll just say that he was taken off somewhere because they won't even find me. I'll hide so deep in a cave. Oh, after he's on that juniper tree, he goes to the cave and he wraps his face in his mantle. And he says, God, Israel has rebelled against you. After God asked him, why are you here in this cave? Why are you here in this depression? Why are you here in this doubt? Why are you here in this hurt? Why are you here in this place of complacency? Why have you laid your mantle down? Why have you neglected the faith? And he says, because Israel, the people that you've died, that you've given a sacrifice, a way to approach you, a way to go from the outer court to the inner court to the holies of holies, they have neglected your altars and they have forsaken you. And so then God says this to him after he says, well, God, I'm here because of that. And I want to die. That's all, his request is still the same. He wants to go. He wants to go hide in Abraham's bosom. He don't want to finish the work. Let's call this finished right here. This is enough. And so then God says unto him, have you ever been crying and saying, God, oh, they hurt me so bad. I just can't believe they did me like that. It's over. It is over. And God says to you, get up and go minister. You get a telephone call in the middle of your little sob story. We wearing it out. Oh, God, they treat me so bad. Every time I try, they just come against me. And they just wear me out. I just want to go be with you. I've been there. rolled all up in a circle. I mean, seriously, I wanted to die. And God says to him, get up and go anoint Jehu and go anoint Hazel and Elisha in your place. It's not a slap on the hand. It's just a command. The way to really go on if you are in ministry and you're hurt and you've been wounded and people playing games, you get up and you find somebody that's hurting and you minister. You speak a life-giving word. You tell them that tomorrow's going to be different. Though you cannot see beyond today yourself, you tell them that tomorrow God's going to bring a change. Tomorrow, God's going to open doors. Tomorrow, God's going to make a way. That's what you say. And while you're saying that, there's something that's built up on the inside of you. There is a regenerating of the Holy Ghost that comes about as you speak those life-giving words into the life of others. And that's what God says do. And so that's why we read 1 Kings 19 and 19. It's the backdrop of that. And he goes along and he lays this mantle on Elisha's back. Now you see the weight of this mantle. Do you see all that he's gone through? That is the making of his mantle, which it gives weight, glory, splendor to the mantle.